It's Wednesday, February 29th. That's right, February 29th. Coming up on Leap Day on The View. Celebs are leaping onto the whoopee cushion while Whoopi's away. And today, special guest co-host and super mogul Kathy Ireland's weighing in on hot topics. From Miley Cyrus's war on Twitter after getting death threats, and what Romney's big win in Michigan means for election 2012. Plus, Gayle King's telling you why she keeps saying no to Dancing with the Stars, and how she's losing weight and a lot of sleep these days. Then, as Israel stands on the brink of a military strike on Iran, Israeli President Shimon Peres is telling the co-hosts if they're ready to target Iran's nuclear facilities with or without U.S. consent. And for the first time in the history of The View, Lyle Lovett's performing on our stage and revealing why he's saying goodbye to one of his longest-lasting relationships. All that, hot topics and more, coming up live on The View.
Away this week. Sherry will be back tomorrow because if you tuned in yesterday or if you've read about it, she is going to be doing Dancing with the Stars. But we have the beautiful mogul, not just a gorgeous model, Kathy Ireland, but also one of the most successful businesswomen in the country.
Is that why we have so much Secret Service here, because of you?
I don't think so, Barbara. Thank you. Coming from you, that is tremendous. You continue to be such an inspiration.
Well, we're very happy to have you here. Should we talk about the Secret Service?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We have never had so much Secret Service.
A lot of Jewish men around.
Here.
I love it.
A lot of... Well, we are honored to have with us the President of Israel, Shimon Peres, who is a Nobel Prize winner, one of the great leaders of Israel, and he's an old friend, and we're delighted to have him here. But if you wondered, did any of you wonder why you saw so many police and Secret Service, the audience getting in? Yeah, well, you thought it was for Kathy, but it isn't. So he's going to be on. We have a lot of questions to ask him.
He's delightful, actually.
Well, I was just back there. I was listening to Elizabeth briefing Shimon Peres on what happened with Romney and whether he won Michigan.
Yes, I was giving him an election breakdown, what was going on yesterday with the primaries, which was an out-of-body experience. And, yeah, that'll be a day that I never thought I'd have, and probably won't ever happen again. So, but he's informed now, thanks to me.
I wonder if the Israelis call it Michigas instead of Michigan.
I don't think so.
He is such an amazing man. I was so surprised to learn that he was a shepherd. And I think that makes perfect sense, how he leads his people. He's got that about him. And he was so angry when he heard his parents listening to the radio on the Sabbath that he went and smashed it.
He smashed the radio.
Yes, very passionate about his
He's been a leader
beliefs.
in Israel for almost, well, I can't say almost since the beginning. He's 89 years young. Wait till you see him. He's so
He looks
vigorous.
great.
And yeah. But I want to talk to you because, I mean, your experience is simply amazing. We have heard you're worth $15 billion. That's not possible.
Billion? No, not billion.
How many?
You know,
billion?
Whatever it may be.
Can you get me a big deal on an ottoman?
I
heard you sell furniture. I could use a couch. I need a couch.
Okay, Kathy Ireland appeared in 13 consecutive Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues, including 3 covers. She is considered a super mogul. 15,000 products. You have a furniture line, a wedding line, an apparel line, and you don't sell swimsuits, so. Furniture, desks, end tables. Your husband is a doctor. You have 4 children, 3 children and 4 dogs.
Wow.
We
and
do.
What
How do you
people
manage?
don't know about it, too, is that you and I have slept together. I don't know if everybody knows this. Tim, my husband, collected every single Sports Illustrated cover, okay? So all of them, including the swimsuit. So I lived at his house with his mom and dad right
sorry,
out of college. So
Elizabeth.
right next to the bed was your face. I would sleep with you at night. All of them, he'd tape them to the wall. So
How did you begin?
You know what?
Because you do have an enormous company now.
I began as a child working in design and business. You inspired me. My dad used to make me watch you on television. Look what this woman is doing. She is breaking the glass ceiling for women, and I so appreciate that. We started, some say it's a counterintuitive strategy, starting with a pair of socks. Why not break into retail with swimwear?
What about the socks?
I was an aging model, and I was offered the opportunity to model a pair of socks.
How old is an aging model?
An aging model, yeah. Well, I was beyond aging because I was 30 at this point. So I was beyond aging. I tried and failed many businesses before starting our brand with a pair of socks, invested my money in a team, love sports, working with people to see how we could accomplish this. Something basic. If women would react to what our team could bring as far as fashion, design, quality, to something as basic as a pair of socks, we might have a foundation, and today we design everything from floor to ceiling, fashion, bridal, and everything in between.
So I was wrong when I said 15 billion. I was exaggerating. You're only worth 2 billion.
That's pathetic.
Is that before or after taxes, though?
Oh, good question. It's been really a luxury to be able to work under the radar for so long. I always knew I belonged on the other side of the camera.
Do you have advice? A lot of people are really seeking entrepreneurship right now, or trying to find another way of getting income and really starting something on their own. What advice do you have for moms out there right now who may have a great idea, who want to get it out there? What do you say to them?
Go to SBA.gov, learn how to write a business plan. You can learn about getting loans. Even today, you can get a loan. One of the biggest gifts from that long ago modeling career was all the rejection. When someone says no, they slam a door in your face. Don't let that stop you. If you have a dream, if you have a passion, fight for it. It's worth it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. We're going to continue with Hot Topics. We will be right back.
Still ahead, Gayle King's telling you how she's losing weight and a lot of sleep these days. And for the first time in View history, Lyle Lovett's performing on our stage.
Attention parents, there is a new bill in Arizona that would allow parents access to their kids' cell phone texts. And right now, parents have to get a court order to access their kids' cell phones. So how much privacy should a parent give their child? You've got 3 children, Kathy.
We have 3 children. Everyone in our home knows I have complete authority to go through any computer, cell phone at any time. It's not snooping. 8, 13, and 17.
It's not snooping.
So
It's not snooping. I'm up front with it. Look, you guys, this is the deal. When you're on your own, you're going to make your own choices, but it's still my job to protect you. I mean, you know, Elizabeth, with your children, it's a different world out there, and the cyberbullying that takes place. We can nip these things in the bud, but if we don't have access to it, if we don't have an awareness, we got to get our heads out of the sand and really know what's going on with our kids.
Privacy issues for the kid, though?
Privacy issue. If they're minors right now and you're paying for the phone, why am I to have to get a bill passed to get authority to look at my kids' texts? This seems almost criminal that a phone company would then, and here's the other option, they may allow you to pay for access to your child's texts. That is a crime. No parent here should stand for that, ever, from a phone company who's asking us to pay to protect our children. That's disgusting to me.
If you don't like them texting, cut off the phone bill. How many lemonade stands can they have to pay their own phone bill? Just don't pay it.
Well, here's the problem, is that, number one, we're very dependent on texting. So a lot of parents actually use it as a great way to communicate with their kids.
Do you, Grace? Grace is what? How old now?
She's 6.
Do you do it with her?
If she texts her cousins from my phone, right now it's my phone. She doesn't have one. She doesn't have an iTouch or anything like that. She's my phone. But I will watch her and watch what she writes. I think with the number, I did a segment for GMA on the amount of sexting that goes on with teens, and without the ability to get in there,
Sexting.
Which
and what are people saying to our children? What messages are coming to them that might seem innocent from a child's point of view, but that have an evil ulterior motive we need to be aware of.
Is there a
gotta be
difference
a way.
between going into their texting and reading their diaries? Because that's what parents used to do before we had to pay for stuff.
Well, no one else is in their diary talking to them.
If a parent has a reason, has a concern, parents should have the right to do that.
Should you have the right to read your child's diary?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Even when they get to be 16, 17, 18?
Every
boy.
child, no, you've got to draw the line at some point. And hopefully you wouldn't feel the need to do that. You would have a trusting relationship. Look, if you're going to treat your child like you don't trust them, I believe that's leading to trouble. But to have that open communication, to be able to discuss, look, how do you think about the way this person is communicating with you? What do you think about the words you're using here? Is the message you're sending the one you want received?
You want to correct, you want to correct their English.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they can't even write these days.
While we're talking about controversial, there's a new measure. We've heard about this before. This is going on the ballot in Colorado to legalize the recreational, not medicinal use of marijuana. Would you vote to have marijuana legalized?
With all the news reports that we've heard about prescription drugs leading to addictions, to deaths, I have great concern about adding another drug to in the legal banner. I have great concern. The amount of access that young kids have to prescription drugs because they are legal has increased. We see dependence on that from minors now. I think should we put another drug under that legal label, it is going to create
What you have to say is that you have glaucoma and they give it to you in some states.
No, it's not that easy.
It's not that easy, thankfully. It should not be easy.
But on the other hand, what about the people, and I'm not advocating this, I'm doing the on the other hand, who say that if you legalize it, then it ceases to be a crime and it's not something that is so terrible, it's like having, I don't know what, a drink or two.
Well, a drink can be more dangerous. We're certainly behind a wheel.
So
I hate pot.
It
just makes you hungry. I don't know why anybody smokes it. It makes you eat 24/7. You get the munchies. What's the point?
And not only does it make you hungry, but absolutely, if we're going to turn this economy around, we've got to get back to work. And if we have a nation of stoned people, I'm a little worried.
Yeah. Well, we're not voting for it.
We're not voting for it. Well,
not voting for
yeah. I just want to mention something. Star Jones appeared on The View a week ago today in a rather controversial appearance. We were very happy to have her on. And she asked me to come yesterday to a luncheon she was having. She's the volunteer for the American Heart Association. She and I both had open heart surgery, so we feel very close. I just want to say we had a terrific time. She was wonderful. She raised so much money. So congratulations to Star. Now, we're going to, a little later in the program, talk to the President of Israel, but coming up, we're going to talk to a very good friend. Gayle King is with us. Stay with us.
okay.
Tomorrow, it's your weekly fix of reality's must-see moments on Sherry and Elizabeth's Reality Show Roundup. And the Lorax star Zac Efron.
Is up hours before the sun comes up these days, and she's here to tell us how she's adjusting to her new morning wake-up call. Please welcome the co-host of CBS This Morning, Gayle King. We're talking kids, and...
Oh, I heard you, Kathy.
Do you snoop?
I heard you. I said, my snooping days are over because my kids are 24 and 25, but I love what you said. As a parent, it really is my job. The difference, though, between you and me is I didn't tell them.
Well, that's your prerogative.
Yes, I didn't tell them, but I did think that it's okay to do if there's something you're concerned about, and sometimes you just want to check. I actually didn't read diaries. I didn't. But you know what, Barbara? I would. If there was something that I was concerned about, I would. You know, but I would just want to check just to see that everything was okay. So I totally
just
agree.
tell you something funny. You know that I adore Oprah, and I love her magazine. And you've now got this job. You're up every morning. But in the last issue, they had a whole thing about getting rid of clutter, and you were getting rid of all of your clothes.
Yes,
I read it. I got rid of mine.
Did you?
You know, yeah. You know,
I know
thought,
a lot of people stop me on the street about that because they say you really should have a spring cleaning every now and again, and I hadn't done one in 10 years. But can I just say, I just love being the warm-up to the Israeli president. I'm not kidding. You guys, you should see back there, it says Gayle King, Lyle Levitt, and Israeli President Shimon Peres. I was with him backstage, and I just think, wow, this is such a cool lineup. I'm so honored, really. Thank you so much. It is. It is. I'm not kidding. I was very honored. Very honored to be included.
Do you like getting up early?
How do you
Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? You know what, Joy? I can't really say I like it, but I do love the job.
Yeah.
I do love the job. And you know, when you're doing something that you love, you just sort of figure it out. But no, do I like getting up early? No, but I love what I'm doing.
Didn't I read that you were having these late-night conversations with Oprah all the time, and now you're still having them, or are you dead asleep?
No, you know, I try to at least get to bed by 10, but it has changed my life about things that I can't do. Like I would have gone to the Oscars. Couldn't go, so this year I'm in my kitchen, paying my bills, in my pajamas, watching the Oscars. I open a letter that says, "Dear Gayle, we're doing a research for people on prescription medication who are constipated. Would you like to participate?" I'm thinking, how did I get on that list? No, I don't. And how do you have my name and my address? So, no, things have changed.
Your partner, Charlie Rose, tells me he gets along at like 4 hours of sleep a night. He goes
really
to
does.
dinner parties.
I
and,
know.
yeah.
But Charlie's secret, though, Barbara, is he says he has a nap.
For hours.
But see, listen, it's Charlie, me, Erica Hill, and the thing is, the three of us have very different personalities. I think we bring something very unique and different to the table. But we all, as you know, chemistry is so important, and you can't plan it.
No.
You know you can't. You know that. You cannot plan it. Either you have it or you don't. And I really think that we do.
Yeah,
You definitely do. Most definitely do. And you...
Have you seen it, Kathy, really? Or are you just saying that?
No, I have seen it, really.
You have seen it? Lyle Levitt told me he saw it, too.
chemistry with us today.
Yes, very good.
I thought that you said you were going to slow down, though. I thought this was...
I know.
And then all of a sudden this came up. So did you have a hard time saying yes when you were... Your gear was kind of...
No, you know,
down,
my
right?
daughter Kirby, who's 25, said, "Gosh, you're working harder than ever." And isn't that a good message to send?
Yes.
That don't you think that at the age, I'm 57, that at the age of 57, you can be approached with something that you didn't seek, you had no idea was coming. You think, yeah, I'd like that.
Is there a new trend?
So I really like it.
Is there a new trend of women blurting out their age these days?
Wait, I'm only 49. I just want you to know, I'm only 49.
older than you.
And I'm still going strong. Doesn't that give you hope? Yes.
Did Oprah give you
I'm older
advice
than
about
you.
the job or not? Like, what does she have to say to you heart to heart about, okay, because it's a big deal. Like, this is a big deal job, right?
No, Elizabeth, I think it's a really big deal. Yeah. And, you know, at the time I was at OWN and people were saying, oh, God. But I called her up and said, you know, what do you think? She said, this job is a dream job for you, because she knows I'm a news junkie. And anybody that, if you have a true friend, your true friend really cheers you on. Right. So no, her advice was just be yourself.
That speaks
I don't know how to
volumes
be
of
anything
your
else.
Relationship with her, that she's happy for you. And I mean, she's got it. How does she feel about losing her partner in crime? Is that...
Well, she hasn't lost me.
No, but those long,
she hasn't lost
those long
me.
cross-country trips that you took. And,
well, we don't want to do those anyway, Barbara, but I will tell you this.
Once is enough. They won't go
you're
with
right,
me anywhere.
Joy. Once is enough. But I did have a little ping after the job. Oprah's first class at the school in South Africa that she launched. Her first graduating class graduated January 14th. I started a job January 9th. So I couldn't take off to say, you know, guys, I'm going to South Africa, so I had to ping about that.
That's difficult.
But it is difficult, but other than that, I ain't got no complaints at
Yeah,
all.
you're looking very slim. I said to you before.
It's called Jenny
She
Craig.
lost weight. And she's not a spokesperson. You just,
no,
you're just
I'm
doing
not
it.
a paid spokesperson because I cheat a lot. But it is called Jenny Craig, I tell
But
you.
You lost weight. How much did you lose?
I was 179.5.
Must you tell every number? What is with you?
Yes, I must.
God.
Because I have no
Throw it in
hang-ups
the
about
gauntlet
age.
for the rest
I have
of
no
us.
hang-ups about age, about weight. I don't. 179.5, and my away-in date is Saturday. I was 160.5.
That's good.
I'm very proud of that. Joy, when people say, when I say to somebody, how old are you? And they say, oh, Gayle, I can't say my age. I sometimes find that irritating. You look good. You look great. Why wouldn't you want to say?
Because a woman who tells her age will tell anything.
Well, I actually think it's great for confidence for women.
I won't tell
You
anything.
can bring 160.5 back here anytime, Gayle. We love you. Our thanks to Gayle King. CBS This Morning airs weekday mornings. We'll be right back.
Next, as Israel stands on the brink of a military strike on Iran, Israeli President Shimon Peres is telling the co-hosts what Iran needs to do now to avoid Israel taking action.
welcome to our program for the first time Shimon Peres, a world leader who has served 2 terms as Prime Minister of Israel and is currently Israel's president. Mr. Peres is a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, and he will be visiting our President Obama this Sunday. And at a time when America is concerned about the possibility that Israel might strike at Iran over their nuclear program, we particularly want to welcome Shimon Peres. We are old friends, and I'm so happy to have you with us.
Happy to be with you.
Thank you, Mr. President. How do you feel about all these women?
I feel at home. You know, the presidency is run by women. The Director General of the President is a woman, and the whole top level are women, and they're doing an excellent job. I feel really at home.
But, you know, explain to us, because we know Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is like our president and runs the country and makes the major decisions, but you also have a great deal of influence as the president. What does the president do?
Well, the Prime Minister rules. The President is charming. So charming.
Oh, I think you have a little more influence than that.
According to the Constitution, I represent the people, and the President and the Prime Minister is in charge of the executive branch of the government.
But do you help make decisions?
Not formally. Not formally. There are decisions that I have the right to make, but usually the decisions are being taken by the government. I should be informed and have a chance clearly to influence the government, to influence the Prime Minister, to talk to the people. But I don't complain, because today, you know, every society has a government and has a civil society. I don't know who is more influential.
Yeah.
He really answers.
And
So
from
I
what we
can
hear,
talk
you
to
have
the
a lot
people.
of them. You talk
Yes.
to your people and not to our people. So let me talk to you, Mr. President, about some of the concerns. There are reports that your country may decide to bomb nuclear sites in Iran. And Americans, people all over the world, are concerned about this. It's also been reported that Israel might do this without warning the United States and without the acquiescence of the United States. So is this a possibility? And what about the fact that you're not going to tell our government?
I think there are 3 points which are totally agreed between the American administration and the Israeli government. Number one, that the world is in danger if Iran will get a nuclear bomb. It's a very serious problem, not just because of the bomb, but very much because of the nature of the present government. They support terror. They are hanging people without trial. They're really trying to take over the Middle East, and it may affect all the world.
Some people say it's reported that Israel has nuclear capabilities.
There are different reports, but Israel has announced that we shall not be the first to introduce a nuclear bomb. But, you know, Israel has never threatened anybody. And the Iranians, Ahmadinejad, the president, says he wants to destroy Israel. He's the only member of the United Nations that does it. He says that the American is the great Satan, and we are the small Satan. Well, who is he to decide who is the Satan and threaten other people? So number one, we think is the greatest danger. Number two, all of us agree that the Iranians shouldn't have a nuclear bomb. Then all options are on the table.
That
all of
includes
us,
bombing without telling.
all options are all options. You don't have to specify. But right now, President Obama started with a very sophisticated attempt to achieve the same thing by putting on sanctions, political and economic, and he put in this policy together with the Europeans and others. So the policy is quite clear, and well, there are different speculations. But right now, the policy is to try to stop the Iranians from having a bomb by economic and political sanctions.
Okay, you're still into that, but there is the possibility of bombing.
I think the relations with Obama are in a good shape. We have the highest respect for the president. I think there are ongoing talks. There are usually a great deal of speculations all over the places. But right now we act together, and I think in full agreement.
One of, you know, speaking as an American to a foreign leader, if you do a bomb and Iran would retaliate, they have said not just against Israel, but against American bases and American forces, perhaps, in Afghanistan. So could an Israeli attack pull us into a war, us being the U.S.?
I wouldn't go for it, but I would say it's not only that they will endanger American bases, they will endanger everybody.
So that as an American, I might say, well, you know, Israel is my ally and I care about it, but, you know, you're doing this without telling the United States. If you do, it's going to pull us and endanger us. How do you answer that?
First of all, we didn't reach that point, and we act in agreement. And usually people are speculating. I hope that the sanctions will do the job. And I think that the Iranians should know that if they won't answer the call, there may be other options. But right now, the major option is the economic one and the political one, and we work together. And if there will be need, I hope it will be increased, because the best way is to achieve it without bloodshed, if we can.
You know, you spoke a moment or two ago about the relationship with President Obama and what a good relationship it is. But there have been some critics, and critics in your own country, who have said that President Obama has not been as supportive of Israel as previous American presidents. I'm sure that you've heard this criticism. How do you
let
answer
me
that?
say very open and very frankly, first of all, you should judge a president on the record and not what people are analyzing and telling. The most important issue for Israel is air security. I think under President Obama, we have the best relationship on the issue of security. Never was the security or the needs for the means of security better met than today under President Obama.
That's a great
This is a fact.
What are you going to say to President Obama on Sunday? What are you going to ask for, if anything?
Well, I'm not going to say, and I'm going to ask. We are going to converse, because there is a new situation in the Middle East. We know that the old system disappeared. We don't know what is going to happen.
What this whole spring awakening means to your country.
Yes, for all of us, I think it's a revolt of the young generation. I wouldn't look at parties. The revolt or the uprising was done by young women and men.
So you're not that concerned?
I'm concerned that they will win. They started the struggle. It's not the end of it. And they meet a great deal of opposition. It's not simple. I think they will win simply because they're young. The future belongs to them. And I think they will win because the people who oppose are on their way out. And they have maybe some slogans, but they don't have solution. The real problem in the Middle East is poverty, not politics.
Poverty.
Poverty. Children are dying, there's not enough food, there is not enough water. And the one that may win the elections don't come with a proposal how to escape poverty. The greatest problem is how to escape poverty. Before
we leave you, I understand that you are on Facebook.
So many ladies.
We can all
May I ask you to be my friends? I want to tell you, today under the internet, we can make peace among people, not just among governments. You can talk to each other freely. We started it. The response is unbelievable. And really, I shall be delighted if you will call my invitation to be friend to the peace and friend of mine. Thank you.
You and I have known each other for a very long time. You are 89 years young and just in wonderful shape.
And you are young without being 89 years.
Ah, thank you. You know, we kiss guests when they walk out.
Good.
Can I give you a kiss?
Sure.
To have you on. Thank you so much. Prime Minister Netanyahu, I know, is coming to this country next week, but we thank Israeli President Shimon Peres. We are honored to have had you with us today. Thank you. We'll be right back.
All week, celebs have been sitting on the whoopee cushion while Whoopi's away. And HLN's Nancy Grace and Kardashian momager Kris Jenner are ready to make some noise on The View.
We'll have the full story. Plus, Garth has your live Mega Doppler 7000 HD forecast.
Lyle Lovett just released his 14th CD, Release Me. And over his 25-year career, he's performed all over the world, but never on this stage. So please welcome, for the first time on The View, Lyle Lovett.
Wow, thanks so much for having me. It's an incredible day, isn't it? Gosh.
It is.
Oh.
You know, the title of this album struck me. It's Release Me. You've been with the same record company your entire career,
you know,
right?
I have. My first record came out in the summer of 1986 on Curb Records and MCA Records, part of the Universal Music Group, and I'm still with those folks. They've been so good to me over the years.
And this, but Release Me, is it about starting a new, going on a new path?
You know, I did want to let everybody know that, you know, I might be needing a job after this.
You're not going to have any trouble there.
Just fine. You really are. You know, you, I didn't realize this about you, but you grew up on a farm in Texas. Well, your great-grandfather purchased the farm, right?
You know, my grandfather's grandfather was one of the original immigrants to that area. It was an area of immigrants in the late 1840s, and my family's always lived there.
Your music, what I love about your music, you're such a storyteller. And was that childhood a big inspiration for and you've got humor in your songs. They touch us.
Well, thank you very much. You know, people from Texas are pretty famous for telling stories and or not being afraid to talk anyway. And,
sure.
I think, you know, when you get to write about people that you know and things that you experience, you know, there's nothing better than that.
But this career wasn't something that you thought you'd be doing, right? I mean, when was the first time you thought, you know, I am a musician? You know, here, go back to Texas. First instrument you played, first moment you knew that this was where you're supposed to be.
You know, playing music was something that I always did for fun. Growing up, I went to a Lutheran school growing up. We sang every day. I loved singing. It just never, it never occurred to me that I'd be able to actually make a living doing something I love to do. And when you can make a living doing something that you love, really,
you're so humble. 4 Grammys, incredible. And it's so funny when we hear you say that you've never had an actual hit. What do you mean by that?
Hard on yourself.
You know, I've been, you know, really lucky to have a wonderful audience support me all these years. But no, I haven't had any really big chart records. You know, I joke about not being burdened by having a hit, but so many times when performers have a hit, they're expected to repeat it. But I've never really been asked to repeat anything. So.
Well, you were hard on yourself, but we are certainly going to enjoy this hit coming up. We're here to perform Isn't That So off his new album, Release Me. Give it up for Lyle Lovett.
Isn't that so? beginning to grow. Isn't that so? Isn't that so? You have to go where your heart says go. Isn't that so? Isn't that so? Isn't that so? You have to go where your heart says go. Isn't that so?
Members of our audience are going home with this new CD, Release Me. You're lucky today. We'll be right back.
We want to wish our head carpenter, Brian Conley, a very happy birthday. Because of leap year, which is when he was born, he will be turning 12 today. And you don't look it, as they say. Yeah. We want to thank Kathy Ireland. You were just a wonderful guest for us today.
Thank
we really
you.
did.
So much fun. You were great.
And Lyle, the president said that he likes your music.
What an honor to meet him.
Well,
and what a wonderful interview.
Thank you. It was really a very good day. Do you want to just say something?
I'd like to say shalom to everybody who's listening out there in Israel. I'm sure they heard the interview. It was great.
It was.
It was really great.
We had a good day. Take a little time to enjoy the